All right, we are back for part 2 of my series in how to edit weddings quickly, or really any video for that matter, but it specifically applies to weddings as it's the example footage that I'll be using. Now, today we're actually going to go over, as you can see on my screen, the most important keyword bindings that I personally use to edit very, very quickly and comfortably. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Basically, the ones that I want to show you are the customizations that I have for Z, X, and C. And what I've done is I made Z to delete selected, X to ripple delete, and then C as the razor tool. And I'll go ahead and show you why that's important. It's fairly easy to remap these. All you have to do is select them and then remap them here. But I'm going to go ahead and close that, and I can link a video to this one where I show you specifically how to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and show you why it's important to reset those keys for going through all of the, cutting through all the B-roll footage. Basically, I want to make this process as fast and easy as possible. And now that I've created this timeline with all of my B-roll clips, I have a lot of fluff. So if I press play on this clip right here, I have a little bit of the beginning of the shot where it's not usable. I was still kind of adjusting, getting ready for the shot. And then it doesn't start to become usable until probably a good 16 seconds into it right here. That's when I kind of had envisioned the shot to be used. So what I'm going to do is I have my 3 fingers on the 3 keys, C, X, and Z. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrub through until I find the beginning of the usable part of that clip. So right about there, right about 19 seconds, I'm going to hit C to cut it. I'm going to go until the end of the clip that's usable. So right there, you can see I start to readjust inside the clip. So I'm going to stop it right there. And then I'm going to use X to delete the first part and then scrub through to see if I change. So it looks like I changed exposure, and then get another shot like so. So it looks like this shot starts to begin in earnest right about here. So then I push C to cut it right there, delete that, and stop it right there, delete the next part, and then we're on to the next clip. Looks like right here and right here were the in and out points for that clip. And then I reversed it just in case. It was really windy that day, so my gimbal was struggling just a little. Then I have this clip here. It looks like I did a focus pull. I pull focus from there to there, so I'm going to cut it there using C and cut it here and then ripple delete. Sometimes I miss by mistake, so ripple delete that part right there. And then I have this clip here, which looks like it starts in earnest right about here to do kind of a reveal of the front porch for this old style venue. Right there. And you can see what I'm doing here is I'm just very quickly scrubbing through, finding the beginning of the clip and cutting it with C. And then at the end of the clip, cutting it again with C. You can see once I've made 2 cuts, if I zoom in right here, you can see that there are kind of these lines to indicate that those are freshly cut portions of the clip, but that the edges haven't been deleted yet, right? The ends of the clips haven't been made, right? So even though there's a cut here, from this frame, these 3 frames are all sequential frames, right? There's no jump in between them. So that's what that means whenever there is and I can actually even make this bigger so you can really see. That's what that little kind of dotted line means, okay? So I can know that if I'm going through and I'm trimming my clips, I'm going to go ahead and bring it back down just a little. If I'm going through and I'm trimming my clips, I can know that if I have a whole clip right here that has all of the same name, because I personally, this is, by the way, another small tip, I turn off video previews because that helps save a ton of resources while you're cutting through B-roll. You might as well just view it in your viewfinder. But what that tells me is that this clip right here is all one clip, and there are 2 cuts in it. And if I've cut this out and if I've cut this out, I can know that that this is cutting room floor, as it were, material, right? So then I just use X to ripple delete those two clips. And then same goes for this one here. So I have kind of a reveal of this very small chapel, even though at this venue is technically actually just uses the kitchen, but that's beside the point. It's a nice looking chapel on the outside, so I got footage of it. Got a reveal here, but I'm not going to use that. Then I kind of come around this kind of palm leaf to not reveal, but just kind of show the motion coming around that small little corner there to show the side and the growth of those leaves. Looks really nice. And I have this tree right here. Looks like it took me a minute to frame the shot. I was trying to get something in the foreground to kind of show the motion of approaching that tree. You can see that right there. This is where I started that motion. I'm going to cut it there, end it there, delete that. And I'll probably just get rid of that. And I just want to do kind of a slow push in, as if we were kind of walking across the porch to show to the audience just this beautiful view. And I actually kind of fly over the balcony there, which I do want to capture. So I'll cut it there, delete that, and then delete it there. Very good. And right here, Bar Mansion in Texas, which is where this venue, what this venue obviously was. Cut it here, cut it here. You get the idea. So those three hotkeys are what really, really help me to edit B-roll very, very quickly, right? Another thing that I'm going to point out to you is if I go to my settings here, or excuse me, not my settings. If I go into my preferences up here at the top, go to preferences, and I click on decode options, you'll notice that I have decode for H.264 and H.265 set to hardware acceleration. And then I have it set to NVIDIA. So if I do Control-Shift-Escape, pull up my performances here, you can see that I'm using my graphics card. It's an RTX 3070. Then I have my CPU, Ryzen 5 3600. And you'll notice that, let me go ahead and save that. You'll notice right here that it's actually running. I have some 3D and video encode already going, but that's just because I'm recording this video, and I'm also I have some filters set to my webcam and my audio, so my graphics card is doing that. But you'll also notice, let me just kind of move this to the side and then kind of minimize that. When I scrub through my timeline, this, look at the right here, the video decode. So it starts to go and it starts to get hit like crazy. And that's why, even though this is like 4K high bit rate, high quality footage from my Sony a7S III that was set to 60, but has been interpreted to 24 frames per second, I can scrub through it almost instantly. And when I press play, I don't get dropped frames. It plays it back at a steady 23.976. Even with color grades and effects going toward it, because you can see here that it usually averages around 50 to 55% usage for video decode. And even when I'm just playing it back, it even uses less. It's only going 8% right there for sustained. But then when I jump through, then it starts to really go up to 60, 50% right there in the corner you can see. So that's something that you want to be aware of as well. Whatever camera you're filming in, you want to make sure that your hardware supports the codec. So if your camera has the option to record in a codec that your hardware can decode very easily, whatever that hardware might be, then that is definitely the way to go. So now the goal is to finish what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish sorting through all of this B-roll, and I'll have an entire timeline of just B-roll to be able to pick from to go through music. And in part 3 of this tutorial, I will go over how to hunt for music, some of the tricks that I use, how to trim the music down to the size that you want it, how many tracks you use, how to tell the story, that sort of thing. And maybe that won't even all fit in part 3, but that is something I'm going to tackle in the next video. So I really appreciate you taking the time to join me for part 2 of this series. If you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. It would be much appreciated. I'm just trying to build a community teaching DaVinci Resolve and teaching y'all how to be better and faster editors to save time, ultimately make more money, improve your life that way. So I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video.